Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Good afternoon to everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great weekend. If you haven't done so already, please give this live stream a like, click the thumbs up button, share the live stream around, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are a new viewer and haven't done so already. But I'll just wait for a few viewers to jump in and send in your comments, questions if you've got any, as the team lists have just been announced. So we'll have a look at the team list and give my NRL tips for this week's games as well. So we'll get into it. So we'll have a look into the team list for this week's game. If you guys got any questions, comments, feel free to do so. But I can see here that we have got some players back for the Sunday's game. So it looks like we've got Marata Niukore, Rocco Berry, Freddie Lusk, and Chanel Harris-Tavita also back from injury. So it's good news here. So we'll have a look at the Warriors team, have a look at the Warriors team list, and give my thoughts on the team list, have a chat about the team list as well. But guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer, if you haven't done so already, and make sure you send your questions through into the live chat as well. Hello to Tahi Bro, how's it going? Kia ora, Tahi Bro, good to see you in the chat. So you guys, if you are wondering what the stream is about, just going to discuss the team list that's just been announced. I'll do a preview on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll have my preview video out for the game on Sunday. So this is just a bit of a team list discussion. We'll go through the NRL tips for this week's games as well. Have a look at the other games and give my thoughts and tips for those games. And if you've got any questions, comments, feel free to do so. But what a win that was on Sunday against the Panthers, man. That was an incredible win. What an upset win that was. And boy, it was an enjoyable time. I absolutely loved being at Magic Round. And if you guys haven't seen it already, go and check out the vlog on the YouTube channel there. And go and check out my review. I did a review last night as well. So go and check those two latest videos out on the channel. So we got 6 viewers in the chat. So make sure if you are watching, don't forget to give this video a live stream a like. Click the thumbs up button. And if you are a new viewer to the channel, make sure you don't forget to subscribe as well. So if you got any questions, guys, feel free to put them through into the live chat. Any comments, feel free to put them in and I'll discuss them and give my thoughts as well. But the NRL team list have been announced this afternoon. So the Warriors have just announced their team. So we'll go through the Warriors team list to see we've got a few players back as well, which is great news. So Rocco Berry's back, and the C's back as well. So that's good to see. He is returning from a hand injury. Marata Niukore as well, making his long-awaited return from foot injury. And Freddie Lusk, concussion, and Chanel Harris-Tavita have all been named in the reserves for our clash against the Dolphins on Sunday afternoon, as the Warriors look to get their second win in a row. And it's our first match on home soil since the Anzac Day clash against the Titans as well. So Egan, unfortunately there's no Wade Egan. Wade Egan is out because of concussion, as you guys would know. So that leaves Freddie Lustick playing hooker this week. Tane Tuapiki fullback, Dalmatini Zelezniak on the wing. Rocco Berry returns into the starting centres position with Adam Pompey, Mosilo Montour on the wing, and Chance Nickel-Klukstad actually remains at 5'8" with Tamari Martin this week. So, Chance did a good job there last week. So, I think it's a good move just to keep him there, as well with Tamari Martin's halfback there. Adam Fanua-Blake, prop, Freddie Lustick hooker, Bunty a 5. Starting in the prop position there with Jackson Ford, Mitchell Barnett, and Dylan Walker in the lock position. So still no Tohu Harris. Tohu Harris has still been ruled out for this week's game. And Tom Ale is on the bench with Jazz Tavanga, Jacob Laban, and Marata Niukore returns to the side. Reserves, Paul Roach, Chanel Harris-Tavita, Zanma'u, Ebu Kozi, and Moala Graham Tafoa. So that is the Warriors side there. So that's the team that we're lining up with this week. Look, overall, I look at the team that we've named this week. I think it's the best team that we have available. Bearing in mind, it's great that we see Murata Niokore back into the side as well. So it's a good inclusion into the team. So looking forward to seeing how Murata Niokore goes. Chanel Harris-Tavita as well, named in the reserves. It's good to see him back. I'm hoping that Chanel may get a late inclusion. But, it's good to see him back into the side as well. Paul Roach, I thought Paul Roach did a great job as well in that game against the Panthers, coming on for 60. Boy, he played 68 minutes. So, yeah, it's great to, see Paul Roach still retain his spot in the reserves and in the side. So, look, generally speaking, if you look at the Warriors team, it's a team that's, it did very well last week, with the amount of the fact that we're very understrength. I see Ali Lautoa's been ruled out as well, and Ali Lautoa, I believe, picked up an ankle injury, as it said here on the Warriors website. So, yeah, he's that's going to keep him out to early July, which is a shame because I thought Ali Lautoa had a great game against the Panthers. So that's why he is out of the team as well. But look, generally speaking, Dylan Walker in the lock position, I think it's where he played well in last week. I think he played very well against the Panthers in that position as well. So, yeah, it's awesome to see that he retains a spot in the 17 altogether. And, it's a shame about Tohu Harris as well. Like, Tohu Harris not playing this week. Also not in the team. So, hopefully he's back real soon. But I see we're going to get we're going to start getting a few players back over the next couple of weeks. So, that's the key as well. But Rich is saying here, kia ora, my bro. Hope everyone is. Yeah, I'm good, Rich. Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well yourself. But yeah, look, generally looking at the Warriors team, that's how we line up. But looking at the Dolphins team, you see you got Hammer, fullback, Jermaine Osako, Jakey Varillo, Herbie Farm with Jack Bostock, Cody Nakarima Haas with Isaiah Katoa, and Jesse Bromwich, Jeremy Marshall King, Mark Nichols, Felice Kafusi, Ewan Aiken, and Max Plath, and then Josh Kerr, Kenneth Bromwich, Ray Stone, and Cornell Lemu. And the reserves are Oregon Keeley, Sean O'Sullivan, Jared Wallace, Kurt Donahue, and Trey Fuller. So that is the Dolphins side. So it's a very strong Dolphins team. They're going very well. They're sitting in the top 4 at the moment. And, it'll be a tough game on Sunday as well. So hello to Jason Reeder. Congrats on your win. You must be over the moon. Do you see the Warriors in the top 8? I think if we can start pulling some wins together, there's a different real possibility. But it's a big win. It's a massive win over the Panthers on Sunday. But that's Sunday. So we're moving on now. So we've got the Dolphins this week as well. So yeah, gonna be a real tough game. I think personally, I think it's gonna be a real tough game. But back at home, I think we should take a lot of confidence out of that win over the Panthers. So, Rich is saying, sounds like the Phins are loaded. They definitely are. They've definitely got a great side, and it's the team we've lined up with this week. So, yeah, look, I will do an actual preview of this game against the Panthers. Against the Dolphins, sorry, not the Panthers. What am I saying? I'll do a preview of the Warriors-Dolphins game, and I'll do a video of that. That'll be out on Wednesday. So, yeah, make sure you tune in for that one. But that'll be up on the channel. So, Warriors fan, hello to Warriors fan. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well yourself there. Good to see you in the chat as well. Good to see some new viewers, some new people in the chat we haven't seen before. So, yeah, so that's the team list. So just have a look at the games coming up this week, and we've got some very interesting games that I think should be cracking matches. There are some games that probably aren't going to be the best quality of games, to be honest. Like the Thursday night game, the Bulldogs and the Dragons, not the best game to start off the round. You got the Cowboys and the Tigers as well. That will be interesting. Then you got Manly and the Melbourne Storm. I think that'd be a good game to watch. Roosters and Raiders, I think that'll be a cracking match. Actually, that's down in Canberra. And you've got Sharks, Panthers as well. Now, that is probably one of the games of the round, personally, in my opinion. I think that'll be the game of the round. And you've got the Rabbitohs, Eels, Broncos, Titans, and then we've got, of course, our boys taking on the Dolphins to wrap up the round. So, generally speaking, if you look at that round of footy coming up, it's actually got some cracking matches, some very interesting, subplots in terms of who's going to win either of those games as well. So, Brian, hello to Brian. He's saying, Roach, you hear of Lustick? I thought so too. I was a bit surprised that Freddie Lustick's getting the start over, Paul Roach. I thought Paul Roach had actually a great game. With the amount of minutes that he has played this year, he has hardly played any minutes, to be quite honest. But he came onto the field and he did a great job with what he produced on the field was outstanding. So I'm a bit surprised too with that one. I really thought that Paul Roach would be ahead of Freddie Lustick, but Freddie Lustick's been our backup hooker for a while now, so that's probably why they've gone with Freddie Lustick. But I think Paul Roach probably could have taken that spot personally, but that's just my opinion on the team list. I feel like Paul Roach probably deserves it after last week's performance against the Panthers coming off the bench here. So, a bit surprised there actually with that one. Naz, how's it going, Naz? Good to see you in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well yourself. You're saying, man, why is this game late Sunday Arvo night? They can't get pissed. Yeah, look, Naz, it's probably because it's a Channel 9 game here in Australia. It's on free to air on Channel 9 here in Australia on the Sunday afternoon. So that probably explains why it's the late evening afternoon game on Sunday afternoon. So it's one of the Channel 9 TV games here in Oz. But, I'll be watching it on KO anyways. But, it's on Channel 9. That's why. Richard's saying here, how does our team go after Magic Round? Well, look, basically, for me, coming off that confidence-producing win over the Panthers last week, I think that should be a huge boost of morale for the boys. If we lost to Penrith on Sunday, I feel like this would probably be one of these games where, our confidence would still be down and that, but it's a huge win considering. So I think we'll do well. But the Dolphins are a good team. They're playing very well. They're sitting in the top 4 at the moment on the NRL ladder, so you can't overlook that for sure. So I think it'll be a tough game, but at home in front of the fans, I think we really should do quite well. Actually, I think we should do quite well. But I think it'll be a difficult game. I don't think it'll be an easy game for sure. No games are easy in the NRL, so I'm not expecting the Dolphins to walk over us. I'm not expecting us to walk over the Dolphins. I think it'll be a close, tough game. But Naz is saying here, hope you're well, mate. Saw your vlog, Ming. Cheers, appreciate that, Naz. Good to see that you did watch the vlog, and it was it was a roller coaster ride watching that game on Sunday. Desperately for sure. Lost my voice, and it was incredible. But Warriors fan is saying here. James Graham is suggesting on NRL 360 that he just go and get Webby to break his contract, go back to Sydney. But I can't see that happening. I think Parramatta will probably go and get. Look, Brad Arthur's just got sacked. He just got sacked only a couple of days yesterday. So they're not going to get Wayne Bennett because Wayne Bennett's already gone to South. He's already confirmed to be at South next 3 years. So I think, look, on that, Wayne Bennett at South is it's good for South, really. They need a good quality coach, and Wayne is that, and he'll bring that experience. And I think South will go pretty well with Wayne Bennett as a coach. So I can't see Webby going to Parramatta. Look, I can't honestly see it. So just a bit of a strange suggestion there by James Graham, but it's unlikely to happen anyway. But Tahi's saying here he's probably paid to say hunt down Webby, bro. Yeah, he probably is, for sure. But Madge for the Eels job, I can see it happening. I can definitely see it happening because if you look at New South Wales, it's only a couple games a year, and I think he can definitely do a job as a Parramatta coach. But, you've also got Justin Holbrook as well. I think he's another name that's been shouted out as a potential candidate for the Parramatta Eels job. I think there's quite a few names we've thrown out at the moment. But, as long as they don't, appoint Trent Barrett, because Trent Barrett is, a horrible coach in my opinion, So, I don't know what, good luck winning a game under Trent Barrett at the end of the year, because he's taking over as a caretaker coach. So, yeah, Holbrook's actually a good shout, really. Here's a good shout. Holbrook to the Eels is a very good one because I think Holbrook would actually do a pretty decent job. And look, I think he was harshly treated at the Titans. He didn't do too badly there. So, he's not a bad coach when you think about it. He's done pretty well when he was over in England in Super League. So, I don't think he's a bad coach at all. Tahi's asking, what's Jason Taylor doing these days? Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one, Tahi, bro. I'm not too sure, but, Jason Taylor, I'll probably doubt it, probably doubt it. I don't think he'd be too good of a coach to bring in. He didn't do too great at the Tigers. But in saying that, who doesn't do too good at the Tigers? The Tigers haven't got, a great history over the past couple of years. How many decades has Jim Dimmick been assistant all-round NRL for ages? Wonder why he's never get a look in. Jim Dimmick. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He's actually coached, assistant coached quite a few teams as well with the Titans and that. So yeah, he's been around for quite some time, Jim Dimmick. So he I don't know. Like I feel like how would go as a first grade coach. I'm not too quite sure, but could be interesting if it happened. North Sydney Bears development officer JT. Yeah, he is. That's right. He is. He's still around. Actually, he is from what I've heard. Yeah. So thanks for that comment there, Rich. Yeah, pretty sure he's still around. Pretty sure he's still coaching, doing some stuff around the background. Jim Dimmick knows his limitations. Yeah, he's okay as an assistant coach, but when you have some coaches are all right assistant coaches and aren't great head coaches. So yeah, I'm not too sure how to go if he'd actually get to coach as Parramatta, but I think Parramatta need a decent coach for sure. I think Brad Arthur, look, I know he's been heavily criticised, but I think he's actually been harshly, criticised. In my opinion, I don't think he's that bad of a coach, Brad Arthur. I think Brad Arthur maybe go back, and do an assistant coaching role in another NRL team. So, but yeah, it's interesting, really interesting to see how it all plans out. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, feel free to do so. Just a little bit of a Q&A. And I'll probably give my NRL tips as well real soon as well. So if you guys got any questions, comments, feel free to do so. Anything NRL related, Warriors related, any questions, comments, feel free to do so. Warriors fans saying here, Buzz Rothfield's talking about Blake Green as an NRL coach. Old Buzzy. Wow, very interesting. Really interesting that. I personally don't watch NRL 360, but that is really interesting. Yeah, I can't see it. Can't honestly see it. Blake Green as an NRL head coach. No, I don't think so. I just don't think it'll. I don't think it'll work. Far out. What about the Walker brothers? Yeah, I know they've always been thrown in the mix. I remember when they were thrown in the mix as the Warriors coaches a couple of years ago, and I wasn't really a big fan of it, to be honest, because I didn't think their game plan would actually work in the NRL. It's quite different to a regular NRL coach. But 66 Warriors. How's it going, 66 Warriors? Good to see you in the chat. You're a new viewer. I haven't seen you in the chat before, but it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. He's saying here, great atmosphere at Magic Round. Best during the weekend was the Warriors game. It was for sure. It was an incredible atmosphere. I absolutely loved being part of it because the Warriors support is incredible. It's incredible when at Magic Round. or at any Warriors game here in Australia, we get a lot of support, especially at the Lord Alfred Hotel. A lot of Warriors fans at the Lord Alfred Hotel for that Warriors fans meetup, and I was there too. And it was a great occasion, a great event as well. So, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. Went up Saturday, watched the Saturday games, and stayed up and watched the Sunday games as well. So I was there for the Warriors, Panthers, and the second game, Storm and Eels as well. So it was a good time. It was no doubt a good time. But anyone who's not been to Magic Round, I highly recommend you go, because it's one of the greatest events on the NRL calendar. So if anyone, and the good thing is it's in Brisbane for the next couple of years. And, a lot of people say that, it should move around. We should move it around. But I don't think it should be moved around personally. And, some people say, why not take Magic Round to New Zealand? Look, I think Magic Round could work in New Zealand, but the only thing is the time zone. It's completely different, and obviously with the TV deals and Channel 9 and Fox and all that, I don't think they'd ever move it to New Zealand. But it'd be good to take it to New Zealand. Don't get me wrong, but I think it suits Brisbane very well. The location, it's close to the pubs and clubs and restaurants, and it's a buzz in the city. It's a massive buzz in the city. I love the fact that having Magic Round in Brisbane is such an awesome occasion. So, that's why for me, I personally prefer it to be in Brisbane. Obviously, I live in the Gold Coast, so it's probably much easier to get to Brisbane, as it's a 1 hour journey from train. But even it's easy for people in Sydney and New South Wales to get to Brisbane. So that's why I think Magic Round is better in Brisbane personally. But yeah, so Janet is saying here, I think Shaun Johnson be used for inspiration, encouraging the young ones in the team when he stops playing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, good to see you, Janet. Hello to Janet. Hope you're doing well in the chat there. Definitely for sure. I think he will be, once he retires, I think Shaun Johnson will definitely be around the background as maybe, helping in the background as a coach, assistant coach, or, water boy, or, someone in the background around the club. So I think so for sure. And Shaun, look, I think Shaun's only got one more year personally. I know I said that last year, but I think he's only got one more year. But that all depends on what he wants to do. Yeah, and Tay's saying plus the weather. Yeah, exactly right. Everything's here in Brisbane. You got the Suncorp Stadium. It's a great venue. You've got the Caxton Street, iconic Caxton Street. The atmosphere is pumping. It's the restaurants, hotels, bars, everything's nearby. And look, plus with Sydney, look, I think Sydney's got the grand final. So, if you want to keep tradition, you have the NRL grand final in Sydney. You have the Origin in Queensland, New South Wales, and you have the Magic Round in Brisbane. I think that's the way it should be staying, personally. But, it's not to say that it won't work in New Zealand. I think it will work in New Zealand. I think it'd be great as a Kiwi to reward the New Zealand fans with Magic Round. But I don't think it would ever happen. I just don't think it'd ever happen personally. But that's just what I think. But Magic Round just definitely works in Brisbane. It's one of the best occasions. It's going around in the NRL calendar every year. So if anyone who hasn't been, look, highly recommend you go. Save up, save your money, save money for your tickets and your flights and accommodation, all that. But it's a must attend event for sure. And Yeah, this is actually an interesting comment here. Warriors fans saying here, NRLW, the women's comes looking at a Magic in Auckland next year. Yeah, I saw that. I've heard about that actually. And Warriors women coming back into the comp. Yeah, look, I think an NRLW comp, NRLW women's origin, the women's origin actually. Massive fan of the women's game. I really am. At the start, like I wasn't too fond of it at the start, but I think the quality from the women's game has improved over the last couple of years, and we saw it in the women's Origin game last week. What a game that was! It was an incredible game, and the women's game is getting better and better. And having the Warriors feature in the NRLW in 2025, I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about that. And I'm looking forward to encouraging the women's team in 2025 as well, which will be good. So, no doubt about it. I'll do some content on this channel with regards to the women's game as well, and do some coverage on the women's NRLW side next year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the signings and who they sign, who they bring in. do they bring some players from the Black Ferns, the Sevens team, or do they sign from the 15-man code as well? Because I think there's a chance it could happen. But yeah, Naz is saying here, keep chance at standoff when Roger returns. I think, look, there's a possibility. There's definitely a possibility that could happen, but will they do it? I'm not too sure what Webby's plan is. I think once Roger returns, do you bring him back into the fullback spot and leave Chance at the 6, or do you put Chance in the centres and play Roger at fullback? Because I've a couple of weeks ago I had suggested that we should put Roger on the wing, and get Chance back to fullback, but Chance is actually doing all right. Did all right at fullback, 5'8" last week against Penrith, and he's playing 5'8" this week against the Dolphins. So it just depends on how Chance goes in that position over the next whole week. So, but Roger's Roger's a couple of weeks away. His Sean Johnson's injury is not too bad, I believe. So, yeah, Rich is saying here, just listen to Cam Smith on SEN radio, and the noise from the Warriors game was extremely loud from our fans. He said the atmosphere was finals and origin type, awesome rap from the GOAT. Absolutely, Rich. It was the best atmosphere you can get. It was incredible. The Warriors supporters, you can hear them very loud and proud. And I was sitting not far from the Warriors supporters bay. I wasn't in the Warriors supporters bay, but you can hear them so loud. But yeah, look, the Warriors always get good support in Queensland and in Australia as a whole. So Suncorp Stadium last year, when the Warriors played Brisbane, they had great support. So you can't deny that the supporters here in Australia, we always come out in our numbers to support the team. Hello to Greg. Good to see you in the chat, Greg. Hope you're doing well. He says, looking forward to the next game. Keep the faith, go the mighty Warriors, from Greg in New Zealand. Good to see you in the chat, Greg. Hope you're doing well. And El Matador 11 saying here, I think Roach is hard done by not getting picked. I've got to agree with you there, El Matador 11. I've got to agree with you. Nothing against Freddie Lussick, but I think if you're based on last week's performance, Paul Roach did a great job off the bench. He did a great job. He had to play longer minutes than what he has played this year, with Wadey coming off a concussion. And you know what? The interesting thing is with Wade Egan, I think it may have to be discussed, is the way he tackles. And does he have to wear a headgear? I think that's the big question, because he's been getting a lot of concussions, over the past couple of years, and I think he definitely needs to change the way he tackles. Personally, maybe just be a bit more cautious, in my opinion, because I think that's something that he might need to look into. And Rich is saying, Archie says he doesn't have a fullback's body thanks to the West supporters and Brizzy. Absolutely, yeah. And AFB's minutes and running meters were down. Is he carrying an injury? That's a good question, Warriors fan. Real good question. Yeah, it was unlike Adam Fanua-Blake last week. To have a really quiet game. We're used to seeing him run a lot of meters, and he's been our best forward by far this year, in my opinion, up there with Mitchell Barnett. So, yeah, it was a bit strange. It was a bit strange when you looked at his stats against the Panthers there. He didn't run for a lot of meters, and I don't think he is carrying an injury. No, I just think that it was probably one of those games where Penrith, really limited his impact, which we don't often see with AFB. But look, in saying that, there were other players that stood up, so it wasn't too much of a worry for us. Usually when, with Fanua-Blake, he always is so consistent. But it was just a one-off game, where he wasn't, at his great best. But hey, it can happen. Other players can step up to the plate, and they did that. And that was a bit of a worry going into that Penrith game, was who was going to step up to the plate. And Tamari Martin did it. The likes of Chance did it. Kane to a peak. He was incredibly outstanding at fullback. So, yeah, it was good to see a lot of the younger players really step up to the plate as well in the game. But Rich is saying a second that, get the headgear. Yeah, absolutely, I agree for sure. you can't deny the efforts that Wade Egan puts in every week, but it's a worry. We need him on the field, so he needs to maybe have a look at the way he tackles. Maybe put a headgear on, but you don't want to see Egan get concussed each week. Obviously he's out this week, so that's a bit gutting, bit disappointing. But now Freddie Lussick has to do the job, so it's up to Freddie Lussick to have a big game. So, yeah, he definitely is a target for sure. He is a target. He's for sure a target because, we know what he brings. We know what he brings to the table, and I think that's the thing on the field. If he's targeted, he's going to be, he's going to struggle. So, and what Wade Egan brings, we know what he brings to the table. He's our best hooker. He's our best hooker by far. There's no one that comes close at the moment for the Warriors in terms of hooker is Wade Egan. But Naz is saying not only do we need him on the field long term, yeah, we do absolutely long term as well. And that's the thing as we re-signed him for the next couple of seasons, which is great, for us that he's so committed to being at the club long term. And you'd think that a couple of players have signed for the Warriors in the past, they would say we want to go back to Australia, and that's not Wade Egan. He wants to be at the Warriors long term. So that's the thing. You want to fully fit Wade Egan. You want to utilize him as much as possible. So, yeah, exactly right. 66 Warriors. Wade needs to copy Cameron Smith's tackling style. I agree, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you on that one. That's the thing. You want to. That's my only biggest worry with Wade Egan is his knack for getting injuries, getting hit. He's one of those players that's well in the contact area. Always in that area, and he's targeted quite a lot. So, massive Wade Egan fan, and I feel like when he's on the field, the team's so accustomed. So much better with the attack and all that. So, but yeah, we should sign the tree that said Paul Kent. Yeah, very funny that comment there. And Al Matador is saying here with Murata Niokore, which I want to actually discuss because he's back in the team this week. Murata, Rocco, and RCHT were clear from injury according to the Warriors website. Could still never trust their team list until an hour before. Yeah, and we know that this team list could change come kickoff time on Sunday. And generally it does. Generally it does. We do tend to change the team up quite a bit before kickoff. And it all depends on training during the week and, whether a player gets a knock in training and all that. So you just don't know. You just don't know with the team that we've got lining up this week as well. So, yeah. Kappa Construction is saying the team. So I think he's wondering who the team is we've got named this week. But I'll actually go over again for those of you who have just tuned in. So fullback Tane Tuapiki, Darren Martinez Lesniak on the wing, Rocco Berry centres with Adam Pompey. Good to see Rocco back. Marcelo Montoya on the wing there, and Chance Nickel Klugstad 5'8" for Tamari Martin, Adam Fanua Blake prop, Freddie Lussick hooker, Bunty Afoa prop, Jackson Ford, second row, Mitchell Barnett and Dylan Walker, Tom Arley bench with Jazz Tavanga, Jacob Laban and Murata Niokore. So that is the team, Kappa Construction. So that's the Warriors team that we're lining up with this week. But 66 Warriors saying he's safe and self-aware. Cam never puts himself at risk and paced himself well during his career, which has helped his longevity. Absolutely. And, Cameron Smith is a player that doesn't often get injured too. He's always out there. He's always on the field. So that's the thing, probably, one of the great players of the NRL history, He's well up there. He's one of the GOATs. With JT, Lockyer, you can name a lot of players, but he's definitely the greatest player of all time. With Thurston as well. So the team list is always a reflection of Webby and his relationship with each player. If he has given his word to them on where they are ranked on players' hierarchy, he sticks to it. Yeah, absolutely. absolutely for sure. Like, he always stays loyal to some of the players, and you don't often see him make drastic changes after a couple of losses in a row. And that's, some changes over the past, last week were forced because of injuries. The last couple of weeks have been forced with injuries. So that's the thing, for sure. But he's not one of those coaches that make drastic changes, despite us Warriors fans, wanting a lot of changes if we lose games. So, which is that's what's good about Webby. But look, even saying that though, you also want to look at players that don't perform. If they don't perform, I personally think they should be dropped. But that's just my opinion on it. But this last week, I don't think anyone deserved to be dropped after last week's game anyway. So, the only changes, forces on injuries. Rich is saying our club re-signed him, so he needs to change things up to keep him on the field. Absolutely, I do agree on that one on Wade Egan for sure. Daniel Sexton, hello to Daniel Sexton. Hope you're doing well. And he is saying, hope how are you going? We did good at Magic Round, and Roach should start at 9. Absolutely, Daniel Sexton, absolutely for sure. But the pick Freddie Lussick, so who knows? Maybe there might be a late change. I think there may be a late change. You never know. They might be putting Paul Roach into the starting lineup come kickoff time on Sunday afternoon. But that's the thing. So we just don't know. This team list can change come kickoff time in 1 hour. After the 24-hour cutoff deadline for the team list. But Rich is saying, at the beginning of the season, talk was about the depth of the side, and we definitely did that. Yeah, I mean, I think our depth's been struggling over the past couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong. I think our forward pack, we've had a few injuries in the forwards. Obviously, we've got Metcalf, Johnson sitting on the sideline. That's the thing. You could have easily looked at that game on Sunday and thought, the attitude could have easily been a lot different, but they came out there with the mindset and attitude that we're going to compete and win that game. And that's what we love to see as Warriors fans, that's what we love to see. So that's the good thing. But, if we can start getting a win against the Dolphins this week, leading into that bye, and then we've got the Cowboys after that in Townsville, and that will be a tricky game as well. But if we can start stringing some wins together over this next couple of weeks after the bye, we'll give ourselves a chance to start moving back up the ladder, for sure. So it's funny that because only a couple of weeks ago, us Warriors fans were down in the dumps. We were down in the dumps. We all thought, this is going to be a tough season. But, it only takes 1 or 2 wins, 3 wins in a row, four wins in a row. And suddenly, you can start believing again and confidence starts coming back. But look, it's only one win. It's only one win against Penrith. If we don't beat the Dolphins this week, that win probably won't mean anything, to be quite honest. But, if we can start getting another win this week against the Dolphins, leading to the bye, get a few players back, then, this team could start getting a little bit of a roll on. But that's all dependent on this week's game and how we come out of the bye. Especially. So. And Naz is saying here, Cam Smith never had one of those bodybuilding gym bodies as well. I wonder if it helped at some. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, for sure. He's not one of those bigger guys, Cameron Smith, but he's his longevity. Is why he did so well in the game for a number of years. But had to dig deep. Yeah, exactly right. Had to dig deep for sure. 66 Warriors saying my issue with Lussick on his error rates and is prone to brain explosion. His only half work is inadequate, but he doesn't have the speed of Roach. Roach proves that he has the engine. Absolutely, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And there was quite a few people weren't too sure what Roach was going to do against the Panthers because we've hardly seen a lot of them, and that is because he hasn't got a lot of game time. And I believe he hasn't played New South Wales Cup in over a couple of weeks too. So when he came into that game, it's not like he had a lot of match fitness going into it. I think from memory, from what I've heard, he hasn't played a lot of Cup lately. So him coming into the first grade side for Wade Egan, Wade Egan coming off and doing that job, is a credit to Paul Roach. It's a credit to him to come on and provide that, spark when Egan came off, because easily, once Egan came off and I was at the ground, I was concerned. I was worried how we were going to go with him coming off, because in the past we struggle. We struggle when he comes off the field. So, it was good to see that the likes of a young player like Paul Roach come onto the field and do the job. And you see that the work he did was outstanding. So I do agree that Lussick's not your flashes hooker. He doesn't bring that level. Or he brings a level of a decent hooker. Like he's a decent hooker, but he's not. He's not your flashes hooker for sure. But yeah, look, that's a good comment, those 66 Warriors. I think that's a very good comment for sure. Roach is quite a quick player. He's definitely quite a quick player. Reminds me of his brother, Nathaniel Roach. And Nathaniel Roach, man, I've got to say how unlucky he was, with injuries over a couple of years. I absolutely was a massive fan of him during his junior days. But yes, I do see your comment. I do see where you're coming with your comment. So. Tay saying you're taking an opportunity when it presents itself. Loves the fact that we've made it to the next man up mentality. Absolutely, for sure. That's the thing. You want to bring that next man mentality up. You don't want to be sitting there and blaming injuries, to key plays, and you want to be bringing that mentality up. I think last year, Webby was pretty high on that too. That's the thing. That got us to doing so well in 2023. Was that we had a next man up mentality, so when we were under pressure, we were putting our bodies on the line. So, and a lot of these plays that we had last week against the Panthers, a lot of them were from New South Wales Cup, and that's saying something, But Tane Tuapiki obviously played a lot of first grade. Well, he's played a bit of first grade already, but then you got the likes of your Paul Roaches, your Labans as well, so they're quite young players, playing against a team that's won 3 premierships in a row, defending premiers, defending three premierships in a row, and almost at full strength. Penrith, the only player they had was Nathan Cleary, and we builded pretty much an understrength side, and we went and done the job, but. The 66 Warriors are saying here Tom Ale is adequate in his body to throw and to soak up minutes and rest players. Nothing outstanding, but a blue collar worker. Yeah, he is definitely for sure. Big fan of Tom Ale for sure, and he does the job. He does the job. He's not, a flashes player, but he does the job pretty well. I think firstly, and Tom Ale's a good young forward. I've been a fan of him throughout his junior days as well, Tom Ale. So. Definitely agree on that comment. I can't disagree with you there on that one. But I would have Zion in there in the place of Ali for his breaking ability. Zion needs minutes. Yeah, Zion's a good young player. He's a great young player. I think the only thing I will say is, there are some moments where he does have the odd error or, the odd discipline. We've seen some games this year, but Zion definitely is a very good, talented player. Massive fan of him, but obviously he's got some moments where he probably could sort out. But hey, that's young players. Young players, they do have some areas in their game where they need to sort out. So, but yeah, it's the thing. It's the thing for sure. But yeah, guys, if you've got any more questions, comments, feel free to send them through. Before I'm actually going to go through my NRL tips for this week's games. I will do a proper preview of the Warriors Dolphins game. That'll be out on Wednesday. I'll do a video, go through the team list, give my predictions as well. So, and go through key players and that sort of stuff. So the game's on Sunday, as you guys know. But anyone who's going to the game, enjoy it, and yeah, it'll be a real tough game. I think it'll be a real tough game personally. But guys, make sure you like this live stream. If you haven't done so already, click that thumbs up button on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer, if you haven't done so already. Share the live stream, share the video, comment your thoughts as well. Do all the following. It all helps. And absolutely free. If you're a new viewer and you haven't done so already, subscribing is much appreciated too, as well, everyone. So, and go and check out the vlog. The vlog is up from yesterday, so go and check that out. Go check out the vlog from the Magic Round Clash, and go and check out my review of the game, my full review and player ratings video. That's on the channel, so go and check that one out. But right, we're going to get into the tips real soon. But if you got one more question or comment, feel free to do so before I get into my tips for this week's games. So hello to Chris here. Evening Warriors fanatics. I think what's interesting, it shows that the senior playing group playing now need to step up and repay the massive effort after the boys did. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris, for sure. Hopefully those older senior players that are on the sidelines, take some inspiration after watching those younger players on the weekend against the Panthers in Magic Round. So hopefully that's the case, and they come out and they come back stronger, and and get this team back to where it wants to be, which is really up near the top 8, where we want to be. So, but I agree, that sort of thing is, these younger players, come out there with a great attitude and mindset, and those senior players will be hopefully take a leaf out of the book and watch that and see what they produce and come back and play strongly as well. So, Hosea is saying here, no one's holding against you that you looked and felt deflated last week. Is this where our season turns around? That's a good comment there, Hosea. And look, I know I backed against the boys last week. And I know some people might give it to me and question my faith in the team and say, why did you do that? And you should back the boys in. But the basic reason why I didn't back the team last week, in my tips, was because I felt that the team was down on confidence and performances weren't there. And that wasn't based on my heart. It was based on my head. So, look, of course, when I went to the game on Sunday, I was backing the boys 100%, no doubt about it. My heart's always with the Warriors, win, lose, or draw. So, I went into that game on Sunday nervous, but, I did have a bit of hope. A couple minutes before kick, I was thinking to myself, you know what, we could possibly do this. But obviously then when Tane made that mistake, thought, you know what, we can still definitely stay in this game and give it a crack. And we did that. So, obviously, for me, it's a win that really could turn our season around. I think it could turn our season around, but that just all depends on how we go this week against the Dolphins. Because, I don't want to say anything too soon because it's one win. But it could be a season-defining win last week. But that all depends on how we go over the next couple of weeks. If we can beat the Dolphins this week, go into that Dolphins game, beat the Dolphins this week and go into the bye, get a few plays back, and then we've got the Cowboys away. That won't be an easy one. I see we've got Brisbane and the Melbourne Storm at home and as well over the next couple of weeks as well. So, and then, obviously with the Origin period, a lot of teams will be missing the Origin players as well. I personally don't think we'll miss any player. I think Mitchell Barnett's probably the only player that I think is putting their hand up for New South Wales selection at the moment. But whether they pick him, probably not. I don't think it could happen. But look, I'd love to see him get picked. But I think the Dolphins game will tell a story, Hosea. If we can beat the Dolphins this week and go into that bye with confidence, then who knows? I think that probably could be a turning point of our season. But that just all depends on the next couple of weeks. But look, I think that this was a big win. It was a big win, no doubt about it, because it shows that the team has got some courage in them. With the amount of injuries we've got, everything against us. Even during that game, we lost a few players, come off of HIAs, and getting the result against one of the best teams in the comp. So one of the best teams in the last couple of years. But 66 Warriors is saying, sad note for the weekend is free parking will be further away from Mount Smart Stadium because it'll be sellout again. Yeah, well, look, it'll be interesting to see how the fans respond to that win now because, a couple of weeks of a couple of losses in a row, 4 losses in a row precisely. How the fans will respond now. Will we sell out the game again this week at Mount Smart Stadium? We've sold out a lot of games at home this year. People are going to suddenly jump back on the bandwagon now after one win. That's the thing. The loyal fans will stick solid by the boys, but hopefully they get a good crowd. I really hope they do. But that'll be interesting to see because we haven't played at home for a while now since that Anzac Day clash against the Gold Coast Titans. So that'll be interesting to see there on that one. Greg is saying here, looking forward to seeing Roger come back real soon. Definitely, for sure. I'm sure it'll be great to have Roger back in the side. Definitely. I think it'll be good to have him back. But Jose is saying here, I'll be at the game this week and cheering on the boys. Good on you, Jose. Go on there and cheer on the boys loud and proud, and hope that the boys can get the 2 points and get another victory. So, enjoy the game on Sunday. Rich is saying, you're just being honest. That's why we appreciate the channel. Every Warriors fan is the same. Our hearts will always be for the team, but still turn the team when it doesn't go our way. Yeah, well, the thing is, look, as a Warriors fan, we ride the highs and lows. It's a wave. Every year. Like last year, we rode the highs, the massive highs. When we made the top 4, and that was crazy in itself, considering all things over the past couple of years where we've been struggling. And this year, we've not found our performances, and the results haven't been great. But that win on the Sunday, I was really, really, quite emotional about the win on the Sunday. And I know it's only one win against Penrith, and people may say it's a big deal, but it was a win because it was a great win, and it felt like a win that could be something that gets the boys' confidence going back to what we want to get to, and that's find ourselves back to the best that we can be. So, Tahi is saying, honestly, each game has been good. And you know what? The thing was about NRL Magic Round, which was so great, and it was a highlight, was the fact that every game was close. No games were one-sided blowouts. You go into the weekend thinking there will be a couple of blowouts, but majority of the games were quite good and tight and competitive. And that Warriors were competitive against Penrith. I think the only game which really was a really standard game in my opinion was the Storm and the Storm and the Eels. Now, this game was expected to be pretty one-sided, but that game especially was probably one of the games that I probably wasn't a massive fan of on the weekend, considering how one-sided it was. But Melbourne was just incredible in itself. But the Titans and the Knights was a pretty ordinary game, to be quite honest. The Titans probably were dudded. I think they were probably dudded, in my opinion. With one of the calls there. But Jose is saying here, do you like Dylan Walker at lock? He's had a mad game on the weekend. Yeah, I do. I do absolutely like Dylan Walker at lock. I think it's it's a shame. It's a shame about Tohu Harris, but look, Tohu Harris is getting old. We know his body's going to start playing up. Same with the likes of Sean Johnson. They're going to get injuries, those two players. So, we know that Tohu Harris is here. Last year we saw him bandaged up quite a lot, but look, Dylan Walker did a great job last week, and I think he deserves his position in that off position this week in the game against the Dolphins. So, I think he's going to do a job there, and he's going to go very well at Dylan Walker. And we know Dylan Walker's played a couple of positions for us before. He played last year. We saw him play 5'8". We saw him play in the forwards. We saw him play off the bench. Dylan Walker's a good utility player to have for sure, but him starting the lock position as well. So, look, I'm a massive fan of it, of course. Richard, good to see you in the chat. Good to see Richard in the chat. Hope you're doing well yourself. He's saying, hi, bro. Weekend looks awesome, especially the Wars. Yeah, absolutely. The weekend was great. And, the boys, put on a big shift, a big performance against the mighty Penrith Panthers, the defending 3 premierships in a row. Of course, as a Warriors fan, a lot of Warriors fans weren't too optimistic going into the game. Like, I talked to a few Warriors fans down there in Brisbane, and a lot of them thought we were going to get smashed. But happy to be proven wrong. We're all happy to be proven wrong and sit here and say what a win that was. But that was a great result in itself. But obviously with the Dolphins this week, it's now the time to think about the Dolphins this weekend. But Naz is saying here, Dylan Walker may have lost a bit of pace, but let's not forget he's a former Aussie New South Wales representative, got mad experience and footy IQ. Yeah, definitely. And I was always a fan of Dylan Walker when he signed with the club. I know there's some people with doubts, but what he brings to the table, he can play any position. That's what we need because, obviously with the injuries we got at the moment, then he brings it. So, what he brings is great impact. Plays in the forwards, can play 5'8", plays centre as well. Remember, he was a centre a couple of years ago, Dylan Walker. So, he provides plenty to the table, and that's what I love about him. Jose is saying here, the NRL calling our win the upset of the season so good. Yeah, absolutely it was. It was one of the best wins I've seen from the Warriors. Look, there's been so many great wins, but that win was got to be up there. It's got to be up there as one of the best wins for sure. All things considered, with the side that we had on the field, and everything stacked against us, and we went down there and got the job done. And you got to love the support the Warriors got at Magic Round as well, which was awesome. You can hear the fans, especially obviously not far from the Warriors supporters, but they were so loud. So shout out to them as well, and shout out to the Warrior Nation as well for running the fans meetup at the Lord Alfred Hotel. It was another fantastic event, especially. So enjoyed that one. But 66 Warriors saying Marata Niokore. Hope he's all right. Would have kept him on ice till after the bye. Hate for him to re-injured. Yeah, look, that's my only concern. We've seen when he's come back, gets injured again, and he's still on the sideline for the next whole week. So hopefully that does not happen. Look, hopefully he's fit, and then hopefully that they're not rushing him back. But that'll be interesting in itself. It's great to have him back. I think Marata Niokore brings plenty to the table off the bench, but hopefully he stays injury-free this weekend. And Chris is saying here, were you surprised Tane starting at fullback? Thought coach would put him at 6 and leave Chance at fullback. Were you surprised at that selection? Look, to be quite honest, not really, because I thought Tane did a great job at fullback last week, and I was a bit surprised with the selection against Penrith when they named him at fullback, because I thought Chance was going to be the fullback, and I thought they were going to go in a different direction with the 5'8" with the halves. But Chance did a pretty good job in the 5'8" spot, and I thought Tane was awesome at fullback as well against the Panthers. His goal kicking, he was good with the boot as well too. So. And obviously him scoring that try as well, and he was one of the standouts as well in the outside backs as well for the Wars especially. So no, I'm actually not surprised. I'm actually pretty happy that he's staying in there, and I'm a massive fan of Tane. And I watched Tane through the Queensland Cup, the Burleigh Bears up here on the Gold Coast, and he's a very talented young player, and he's a little bloke, but he's quite agile, quite quick as well. So that's what I like about Tane Tuapiki as well. Very, very skillful player, but does the great work, sure. Hosea, this is actually a good question. So, any thoughts on Brad Arthur? Just quickly, too soon or not soon enough? Hosea, actually, I think Brad Arthur's been harshly treated, in my opinion. I think he's been harshly treated. If you look at what he's done with Parramatta, Parramatta, look, let's be quite frank, they've had majority of their key players out. The likes of Moses, Gufferson, they've had some injuries. Last year, missing the top 8 would have been disappointing for Parramatta and their fans. And of course, Brad Arthur will be disappointed with how last season's gone. But look, sacking Brad Arthur, look, personally, I think it's quite harsh. I think it's quite harsh in my opinion. I think if you look at it now, is it all Brad Arthur's fault? Their form this year, I don't think it is. Last year, obviously, they had their issues, but you got to remember Parramatta were in the grand final against Parramatta. Parramatta was only in the grand final a couple of years ago with Penrith, and they had that great run and they made the finals. They've been making the finals under Brad for quite a few years, and making the top 4 as well. So I think Brad Arthur is a decent coach. I think he's a decent coach. Probably not one of the best coaches in the game, but I think he's not bad. He's not horrible. He's not one of the worst coaches like some of the other coaches out there. But good luck to Parramatta because you got Barrett coming in, Trent Barrett. Trent Barrett, come on, like Trent Barrett. Good luck, winning a game with him. So yeah, just think it is a bit harsh in my opinion, but. So Richard's saying here, I was buzzing at the airport. I was buzzing at the support who attended. The TV was so loud. I'm sure I heard you scream from within that bunch at the end on Sky Sport. Yeah, if you look at my vlog, if you watch my vlog, I was going off. I was going off completely, and because it was such a big win. It was such a big win, and I couldn't believe how well we played to win that game. And look, we could have easily, 4-0 down early on. We could have easily put our heads down like we did against the Roosters, and we didn't. We didn't. So that's the thing. We hanged in tough. And when Penrith took the lead again with the back end of that second half, I was like, can the boys, continue on? Can they keep showing this fight? And they did that, and they got that try to tame, and that try proved the pivotal point in winning that game and winning the game. So, that's the thing. And you love the Warriors supporters. You love the Warriors support we get in Australia, especially. We'd be in Australia, New Zealand. The support is always great. So, I'm looking forward to heading to the Titans game here on the Gold Coast, in only a few rounds time, which will be good. And I'll be there for that Titans game, and I'll be vlogging that game as well. So, but hopefully, when we get to that Titans game, we'll definitely have the likes of Sean Johnson, RTS, and that back into the team on the field. Hopefully, we get Midcuff back as well real soon as well, which will be good. But at the moment, with the players we've got at the moment, they're doing the job. So, it will be interesting to see how they go this week. Jose is saying, I think the best thing watching all the vlogs from Sunday is seeing people in different jerseys, fans of other teams cheering on the Warriors and booing the Panthers, giving me goosebumps, to be honest. Yeah, it was like that, actually. So I was sitting where the Dolphins supporters bay was, and there was a Dolphins fan sitting behind me. They were actually cheering for the Warriors. There's a few people doing that as well. So I think all the neutrals love the Warriors. They love the Warriors as their second team, and that's what I think. Besides the Penrith fans, they would be cheering for their team, but the neutrals love the Warriors, and the Warriors are like the second team. But that's the awesome thing. 66 Warriors are saying Trent Barrett. Sorry, right, Trent is like Nathan Brown, but both. Exactly right. And on Nathan Brown, I don't really need to go there, but man, Trent Barrett, he's been around for a few clubs, and I don't know how he's still around to stay coaching, but hey, it's going to be Parramatta. They're not my team, so I'm not worried about Parramatta. But Richard's saying here the vlog was cool, especially the end of the game. Yeah, it was an awesome atmosphere. It was an awesome game, and I absolutely loved it. But anyway, so we're actually going to start. I'm going to actually do my NRL tips now. I'm going to go through my tips for this week's games, guys. Give my tips. So we'll start off with the first game, and Thursday night, 23rd of May, sees the Bulldogs taking on the Dragons. So just looking at the Bulldogs and Dragons game here. Look, for me, this is probably the game where I'm probably least interested in, to be quite honest. No disrespect to both teams. Now the Dogs are doing quite well. The Dragons, a little bit of a hit and miss side this season so far. So it's hard to really get a read on the Dragons, to be quite honest. So the Bulldogs, look, I think the Bulldogs, for me, I'm probably going to tip the Bulldogs here. I'll say the Bulldogs 1. Actually, no, we'll go Bulldogs 1-12. Yeah, 1-12 for the Bulldogs for me. I think they'll win this game. Now, first try score will go Josh Adokar. Anytime try score goes Zach Lomax to score. So for me, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here, 1-12 over the Dragons on Thursday night. Now, Friday night footy, so we got the Cowboys taking on the Tigers, the West Tigers. They're at in Townsville. For this game, just look at the team here. Any sudden changes? Not really. Cowboys naming their same 1-17. Tigers really looking at their team. There's not too many changes. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. Cowboys 1-12 at home over the West Tigers. So Cowboys for me for that game. And the other game we've gone with the Bulldogs 1-12. Let's see. The next game sees the Manly Seagulls taking on the Melbourne Storm. Look, for me, for this game, I'm probably looking at it as I think this will be a pretty good game, actually. Manly coming off that 1-point loss to the Broncos in Magic Round. Storm absolutely toweling up Parramatta. Melbourne have been absolutely outstanding this season. Look, I've got to go with the Storm here. I'm going to go with the Storm 1-12. But, hey, I think Manly can definitely be real competitive, but I think Melbourne will just win it 1-12 for me. Roosters, Raiders. Actually, I think this will be a very good game, Roosters, Raiders. And, boy, the Raiders have really been flying under the radar this year. They've been in some very good form. They're actually, well, they're looking quite good. You know, they've been really resilient, the Raiders. They actually, it's so like a Ricky Stewart side, you know, to be such a resilient side, and that's what the Raiders were. And they had a good win last week. Now, I'm going to go looking at this game. The Roosters obviously coming off that loss to the Sharks last week, and the Roosters are pretty much full strength. They haven't got any big noticeable outs for this week's game. Connor Watson's out. The Raiders have got Ethan Strange, who's actually been playing quite well for the Raiders over the past couple of weeks, especially that game against the Dogs. He was outstanding for them. So you've got Jordan Rapana. Jordan Rapana is, can be one of those players that can be a hit and miss at times, but the Raiders have got a very good team, and they're doing quite well actually. Josh Papali'i's out. That's a massive out for the Raiders. Look, this is actually a difficult game to tip. I want to see who the chat's going with. So if you who are you guys going for this Raiders Roosters game? Put your tips into the chat for this game, because I found this game very difficult to call. A tricky game. It's in Canberra, and the Raiders are generally a tough team to play in Canberra. Tahi's saying that Manu is back. Yeah, Manu's back. Now, that's a big in for the Roosters. It's a massive in, because I think they missed Joey Manu last week against the Sharks. That's quite a big in for the Roosters there. Now, look at the Roosters lineup. Tedesco, fullback, Tupou, Suali'i, Manu, Young, Carey, Walker, Hargraves, Brandon Smith, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, Victor Radley, Nafahu White. So if you look at that, it's a very strong Roosters lineup there. But look, for me, this is tricky. This is a tricky game to call, really. It's a tricky game to tip. I have to go with the Roosters here. I have to go with the Roosters, but I think the Roosters will win by 6 points. I think the Roosters by 6 points. And first try score will go with... I'll go Joey Manu to score first. Anytime try scorer will say for the Raiders will go with a Matthew Timoko. And I'll say anytime for the Roosters will go with Dominic Young. So I've got the Roosters here, but with not much confidence. I think the Raiders can win because they're at home. And it's always a tricky place to go to Canberra, take on the Raiders. And, the Raiders will be, they'll have a lot of confidence after last week's win, especially. So I will say the Roosters, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won. So tricky game to call. It's a flip of a coin. It can go either way, but I'm going to go Roosters by 4. I think it'll be a cracking match. I think it'll be close. and I think they'll just get it done, the Roosters, over the Raiders. And Richard's saying here, yeah, Jordan Rapana's gun rate reliable as glad he's in the Keys. Yeah, he is. He's definitely for sure. But he can also have his moments as well, where he can be a bit ill-disciplined, Jordan Rapana. But he has his moments where he's great as well. So, yeah, Jose is saying here, head saying Roosters, heart saying Raiders. Yeah, I'd love to see the Raiders win, personally. I'd love to see the Raiders win it at home. But I'm going to tip the Roosters to win. They have to after last week's loss. Yeah, for sure, definitely. But I think the Roosters will just get it done for me over the Raiders. But really, it's a flip of a coin. Now, this next game is probably for me one of the games of the round. And it's crazy to even say this. I wouldn't have said this at the start of the season, but it's the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Penrith Panthers at PointsBet Stadium there in Cronulla. And Cronulla, boy, they're sitting well on the ladder at the moment. They're sitting in top spot, and you know what? I've over the past couple of weeks, I've thought that they've had an easy soft draw. They haven't played any of the top teams. Now they went and beat the Roosters last week. It was a massive win. Look, the Sharks coach didn't seem too happy with their defence in that game because obviously they leaked a lot of points in that, but. That was a very good win for the Sharks against the Roosters. There was a lot of people, including myself, questioning whether the Sharks have had it easy. They haven't played the top teams. And, we looked at last year, they weren't able to beat any of the top teams. And that's why they bombed out of the finals in 2023. So, they're sitting quite well at the moment. They're sitting in top spot. They could easily drop the next couple of games and still be in the top four. So, look, another big test for the Sharks against the defending premiers, the Panthers. The Warriors showed the way with how to beat Penrith last week. Penrith definitely will be looking for a bounce-back factor. Ivan wasn't too happy in the press conference after that game as well. So, look, I do expect Penrith to come out all guns blazing in this one. Sharks at home. And the Sharks will be looking to make another statement. If they can get a win over Penrith, this will be massive. Massive for them as well. So, it's a tricky game to call. It is really tricky. It's a really tricky game to tip because a couple of weeks ago, I would have said Penrith easily. I would have said Penrith easily a couple of weeks ago. But the way the Sharks are going, if you look at the players they've got, the likes of Hines, Nicholas Hines, last week, really impactful for the Sharks. Their forward pack's been great. The likes of Thomas, Hazelton. Hazelton, man, what a play he has been this season for the Sharks. You've got your Nia Kores, your Tay Waldens, Oregon Kafusis. It's a very strong four-pack. And if you look at their bench, Jack Williams, Talakai, Royce Hunt, man, that's a strong bench for the Sharks. So, tough, really tough game to call. And I see Naz is going for the Sharks here in the chat here. And Richard's saying, I hope the Raiders win. Talk about the Raiders. And Jose is saying Panthers will mad as on Sunday. Reckon they'll come back with a vengeance. Yeah, for sure. I think they will come back with a vengeance for sure. But look, I'm tipping Penrith. I am tipping the Panthers because I expect them to bounce back and get a win here. But look, if you're the Sharks, you're looking at this game as a real opportunity. They just beat the Roosters last week, and they beat Melbourne only a couple of weeks ago. If they can go and win against the Panthers at home, boy, that is going to send out a real statement to the NRL this season. Albeit, Penrith are probably still without Cleary as well. But look, I think Penrith should win this game. They should win it, but it will be close. It will definitely be close. So I'm going to go Panthers. Oh, I'm going to go Panthers by 8 points. 8 points at least. First try scorer will go Sonia Taruva. Anytime we'll go with the Sharks player. We'll go with Sione Katoa for the Sharks anytime. But yeah, Panthers for me to win. And Greg is saying, I think the Sharks will win. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, but I think Penrith will get the job done. And it's the first time I've seen Ivan do a hiss. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, for sure. But look, it's going to be a good game. I reckon it'll be one of the games of the round. Now, speaking of the next game, and boy, this game's probably going to be a snooze fest. Let's be quite honest. Dear, oh dear, this is this is a bottom four clash. It's the Rabbitohs and Parramatta, the Rabbitohs and the Parramatta Eels. Boy, now this is a game I'm probably not going to look. I might watch it, I might not, but this is a game as a neutral. I'm probably not looking forward to the most. Geez, these two teams, Parramatta and the Rabbitohs. Now, look, I think the Rabbitohs last week against the Cowboys probably could take more positives out of last week, from me. As for Parramatta, well, there weren't any positives, let's be quite frank, against the Storm. So if you look at the lineup, still no Moses for the Parramatta, still no Gutherson. Blaze Talangi is a very good, talented player. I would say he's probably, the next future star for the Eels. But as for the Rabbitohs, yeah, look, for me, this game is who knows who to pick in this game, because you don't know what to expect with either sides. But look, it's in Sydney. Look, I am going to tip the Rabbitohs here. I just can't trust Parramatta, to be honest, and I'm not going to even probably tip them for the rest of the season, regardless, because, geez, you got a new coach coming in as well now, interim coach, and Trent Barrett. Yeah, nah, I can't see the Eels winning this. It's the battle of the interim coaches, actually, when you think about it, because it's Ben Hornby coaching the Rabbitohs up against Trent Barrett, two interim coaches. So who would have thought we'd say that at the start of the season? Who would have thought we'd have thought about that? It's just crazy in itself. But yeah, look, I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs here. Rabbitohs for me, 13 plus. I think I'll put a score on Parramatta. I just can't see Parramatta being able to get enough points against the Rabbitohs, and I think the Rabbitohs are due for a win. I think they're due for a big win, and I think Latrell Mitchell will have a big one, and I think he'll score. I think he'll score a try. So I'll go Latrell Mitchell, first try scorer, and any time I'm going to go with I'll go Cody Walker as well, because it being Indigenous round as well. Don't forget it's Indigenous round this week, so I think the likes of Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell will have big ones for this round especially. So Souths will win for me. I just can't see Parramatta winning. But yeah, Sunday games now, so just Sunday. So I'll try and wrap this up real soon, guys. So apologies if the stream's gone too long for you guys. So I'll try and wrap it up. So Sunday we've got the Broncos and the Gold Coast Titans again. Boy, Sunday 2:00 game. Broncos and the Titans. Geez, so Reece Walsh is back. Big in for the Broncos. Massive in for the Broncos. He's back in the side this week after missing last week's clash against Manly. And who else do we look at here? So they've got Selwyn Cobbo in the centres. Hazard Remand, 5'8", and Jock Madden. So the Broncos' only ins is Reece Walsh, I think. There's no Billy Walters. For the Titans, they're pretty much really at the same side they've named last week. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos 13 plus over the Titans. And look, the Titans are showing some great improvement over the past couple of weeks. They've won some games, have been close, but I think the Broncos should have enough and too much on a Sunday afternoon at Suncorp against the Titans. So Broncos for me to win 13 plus. First try scorer we'll go with Selwyn Cobbo anytime, Reece Walsh, and for the Titans anytime we'll go with Brian Kelly for me. So yep, the Broncos should win 13 plus. So just popping into the chat. SC Storm fan, no Moses again. Congrats on the win. Yep, thanks SC Storm fan. And it could possibly be a good game after what's happened this week. Jose must win for the Bunnies. Hope the Bunnies win. Hello to Michael. Hope you're doing well, Michael. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. And Jose's asking a question. Do you think anyone from the Bunnies would be selected for Origin? Oh, geez. Look, probably not, Jose. I don't think so. I don't think at the moment you can really reward any of those sales players for Origin selection, in my personal opinion. But if Cameron Murray was fit, if he was available, then I probably would have only selected Cameron Murray, to be quite honest. I think he would be the only selection for New South Wales if he was fit, if he was available, but he's not. So, I mean, Cody Walker, potentially. But look, I think New South Wales will probably go with Nico Hines in the halves for me and Jerome Luai. I think that's what New South Wales will do. But I'm a Queensland fan and honestly don't care what New South Wales do, but that's probably what they will go with for State of Origin Game 1. So, no, I just can't see any of those players being selected for Bunnies for the New South Wales selection. And Richard's saying here, up the wires. And got a super chat here. Oh, super chat. Great. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. He's sending a $7.99 super chat. Awesome win by the Wires over the Penrith Panthers. 32 upset as well. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Really appreciate the super chat. Really do. But that really means a lot. I really do appreciate the super chat. Thanks for that. But guys, I think that wraps it up. That's my tips, guys. Thanks for those who are still sticking by and watching the stream. Thanks for watching as well, and bring on this week's game against the Dolphins. I'll do a proper preview, guys, a video preview for you. I'll bring that out on Wednesday for the Warriors Dolphins game. And thanks to everyone for tuning in and watching. And Naz is saying, "To Michael the man," and Jose saying, "Cheers for the super chat, Michael, supporting the channel." Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Thanks for supporting the channel. And hello to Jazz. I hope you're doing well, Jazz. Good to see you here as well, as I'm just about to wrap up the live stream. So, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Make sure you like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Click that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer and haven't done so already. It's much appreciated. It's absolutely free as well. And trying to get to 3K subscribers by the end of the year. Trying to get to 2,700 subscribers, so help us get there real soon. And if you haven't done so already, please go and check out the vlog as well, if you haven't done so already as well. And go and give the review a watch as well. The review is also up on the YouTube channel of the game that I did. So go and check out all that content, guys. But thanks, everyone, for watching. Appreciate all the support, and have a good one. Up the Wires, go the Warriors. And we'll see you guys all soon. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one.